What is going on, everybody? It's Pastor Ethan here for another episode of the Truth Is podcast. It's episode 15, and today we have a very special guest, another reoccurring guest. Give it up for the one, the only. He's a junior at Hampshire Finette High School, Jaden McGowan. Jaden, how you doing, bud?
Not too bad. How are you?
All right, I'm good, but you know what it's time for. Rapid fire questions. Let's see, where do we start? Okay, we'll start easy. If you could eat one thing as your last meal, what would it be?
Spaghetti.
Why? Like any type of spaghetti, or like someone made spaghetti?
My mom's spaghetti.
Okay, your mom's spaghetti. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookie dough.
Cookie dough. Favorite subject in school?
Chemistry.
Least favorite subjects in school?
English.
All right, and finally, a question that really you can tell a lot about a person through. If you had to pick a pillow, are you picking the softest pillow in the world, a hard pillow, or one kind of in the middle?
One kind of in the middle.
That's the wrong answer. It's the softest in the world because you want to feel like you're sleeping on a cloud. All right, Dan, so last time you were here, you told us a little bit about Robotics Club. So why don't you just tell us a little bit more about yourself that we don't know?
I'll be turning 18 in January. I got my license recently, so now I can drive wherever I want.
There you go.
Within my parents' restrictions, at least.
All right, and you just moved here pretty recently. Where did you move from?
Ohio.
Okay, Ohio. And you're not a true Texan because you weren't born in Texas, right?
I guess by those standards, no.
Yes, that's the standard. You're a true Texan. Whenever you're born in Texas, you stay in Texas. And even if you leave and you come back, you're still a true Texan. You're not a fake Texan. Well, you are a fake Texan. I am not a fake Texan. Texan all the way.
Okay.
All right, Jaden. So, as you know, we're going through Pastor Ron's devotion, The Plain Truth, and we are on week 15. And our truth is, there is a difference between having a problem and being a problem. There's a difference between having a problem and being a problem. Jaden, are you a problem?
I certainly hope not.
Do you have a problem?
With some people, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, let's jump into our scripture for the day. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves as to whether you are in the faith. Test yourselves. Do you not know yourselves that Jesus Christ is in you, unless indeed you are disqualified? And then Luke 6:41-42, it says, "And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but not perceive the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Brother, let me remove the speck that is in your eye,' when you yourself do not see the plank that is in your own eye? Hypocrite! First remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck that is in your brother's eye." So Jaden, let's break this down a little bit. We'll start with the first scripture. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves as to whether you are in the faith. Test yourselves. Do you not know yourselves that Jesus Christ is in you, unless indeed you are disqualified? So Jaden, when you hear that part of test yourself in the faith, and it talks about knowing that Jesus Christ is in you, what do you kind of pull from that?
That we should always be testing our faith to show us that Jesus is always with us.
Yeah, I think it's really, we have to look at it and really see, are we following in Jesus' footsteps? Are we doing what we're supposed to do? Before we start judging other people, are we in the right mindset? And then it kind of ties into our next scripture. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the plank in your own eye? So when we see this and it talks about this, we just think about, okay, imagine someone has a splinter in their eye, but you have like an 18-foot log jammed in yours. And you're there telling them, you need to take that out your eye, all right? You're broken. Why aren't you taking that out your eye? When you got a bigger problem. So when you hear that, what kind of comes to your mind?
Hypocritical, I guess you could say.
Yeah, hypocritical. You're not thinking about what is wrong with you. You're trying to point out what's wrong with everyone else whenever the problems you're facing are bigger than what they are, right? So let's jump into our devotion for the day. When we as Christians engage in considerations, conversations, or activities which do not represent a Christ-like lifestyle, we have a problem. When we first realize it, it's time we fix it. When we do nothing about a problem we have, we cease at some point to have that problem, and that problem begins to have us. There's a difference between having a problem and being a problem. Sometimes the cure is as simple as accepting personal responsibility for the problem and asking God for help. Listen to your trusted friends and family. They may help you discover a problem which could otherwise be hidden to you. So let's break down our devotion for the day. So it talks about, when we are engaging in things in life, considerations, conversations, activities, which do not represent Christ, we have a problem. So whenever we're doing things that Jesus wouldn't do, we have a problem. In high school, you get peer pressure to do a lot of those things. To do a lot of those things that Jesus wouldn't do, and the things that aren't like Jesus, aren't like Christ, and aren't Christ-like, so therefore it's a problem. And we have a problem whenever we're doing it. But how do we fix it? Well, it talks about it first. We have to realize we have the problem. Stop at some point that problem before the problem begins to have us. So when you hear that, stop before the problem you have begins to have you, what do you pull from that?
That the temptations of the world are very powerful and very draining and very attaching. And whenever you start one, it will slowly start to grab harder and harder onto you until you can't let go of it.
Yeah, don't let the problems you're facing become your identity in life, Those things, they're going to cling to you, but what you do with it determines everything else. In the next part, it talks about talking about the difference between having a problem and being a problem. Sometimes it's as simple as just saying, God, I have a problem, help me. But that's kind of hard sometimes because we're so focused on everything else and all the problems that everyone else has. So, what's kind of one takeaway you have from the devotion for the day?
That even though that's how hard of a grip the temptations of the world have on you, you can still break free of them through Christ and the Lord.
Yeah. So let's jump to our prayer for the day, Jaden. God, help me to see myself through the eyes of my most trusted family and friends. Speak to me and give me the grace to deal with areas in my life where I irritate others, deceive myself, or disappoint you. Help me to never allow myself to remain the problem. Forgive me and give me strength. So, Jaden, if you had one overall takeaway from the day, what would it be?
Control your temptations before they control you.
Yeah, that's good. We have to control the things that we're facing, those temptations in life, before they control us. We have to control the problems we have before we become the problem because of them. All right, Jen, so we're closing out. Is there anyone you want to say what's up to, give a shout out to, say hi?
I'd like to say hi to my mom and my brothers and my dad, I guess.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah.
Well, Jaden, it was great having you on. Everybody, I'm Pastor Ethan. That's Jaden McGowan. And this has been a great episode of the Truth Is podcast. Make sure you check in next week for another new episode. We'll see you then.